Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. 1 week from today is Election Day. The fallout from a comedian's controversial comments amid the big push by both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in the battleground states. That's ahead. And Iran requests an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council after Israeli airstrikes over the weekend. We have what unfolded.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. These are today's Unbiased Updates.
With 1 week to go until Election Day, the fallout from a comedian's controversial comments about Puerto Rico at former President Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally continues. Despite a Trump campaign spokesperson distancing the former president from Tony Hinchcliffe, Vice President Kamala Harris and her allies centered their messages on Monday around the comedian's remarks and their connection to Trump. At a rally in Philadelphia, alongside entertainers Bruce Springsteen and John Legend, former President Barack Obama said Trump's MSG rally was an example of the former president looking to divide the country to boost his chances of getting elected.
So the man holds this big rally at Madison Square Garden. And the warm-up speakers were saying the most, we're trotting out and peddling the most racist, sexist, bigoted stereotypes. One guy called Puerto Rico, quote, an island of garbage. Now, these are fellow citizens he's talking about. Here's a good rule. If somebody does not respect you, if somebody does not see you as fellow citizens with equal claims to opportunity, to the pursuit of happiness, to the American dream, you should not vote for them.
Before heading off for campaign events in Michigan, Harris, the Democratic nominee, also accused Donald Trump of trying to divide the country in the wake of the Madison Square Garden rally.
It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other, fans the fuel of hate and division, and that's why people are exhausted with him. That's why people who formerly have supported Donald Trump, have voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page. They're tired of it.
On yesterday's updates, we aired instant reaction from Democratic vice presidential nominee, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. On Monday, the Republican VP nominee, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, was asked his reaction during a speech in Wisconsin.
I think a lot of Americans are sick of the distractions and sick of the BS. They want our candidates to talk about how they're going to solve the people's problems, and that's what we ought to do. Again, I haven't seen the joke. Maybe it's a stupid racist joke, as you said. Maybe it's not. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to comment on the specifics of the joke. But I think that we have to stop getting so offended at every little thing in the United States of America. I'm so over it.
At a rally in Atlanta, Georgia on Monday, former President Trump fired back at Democrats, including Harris, who has described Trump as a fascist, and Governor Tim Walz, who made comparison between his MSG event and a Nazi rally held in the same arena in 1939.
And I'm running a campaign of solutions to save our country. Kamala is running a campaign of demonization and hate. She really does. She's a hater. She's a hater. She was a lousy attorney general. She was a lousy DA. Years ago, my father, I had a great father. He's a tough guy. He used to always say, never use the word Nazi. Never use that word. And he'd say, never use the word Hitler. Don't use that word. It's like, I didn't even know why. Don't use that word. And then I understood it. And yet they use that word freely, both words. They use it, he's Hitler. And then they say, he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I'm the opposite of a Nazi. I don't know.
Former President Trump will deliver remarks to the press at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida this morning before heading for a rally in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Vice President Harris, meantime, will hold her self-described closing arguments at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. later tonight. More election news now. Republicans have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to issue an emergency order in Pennsylvania that could stop thousands of ballots from being counted in the election. Last week, the key battleground state Supreme Court ruled election officials must count provisional ballots cast by voters whose mail-in ballots were rejected for being turned in without a secrecy envelope. Also yesterday, Virginia officials asked the Supreme Court to move forward with removing around 1,600 alleged non-citizens from its voter rolls. A lower court has blocked Virginia from continuing its systemic voter removal program that was launched in August, exactly 90 days before the election. A provision of the National Voter Registration Act requires states complete purging ineligible voters from registration lists up to 90 days before federal elections. Last week, two major newspapers announced they would not be continuing their tradition of endorsing a presidential candidate, one being the Washington Post. In response to backlash over that decision, the paper's owner, Jeff Bezos, is now speaking out. In an article published on Monday by the Post, the Amazon founder wrote, quote, "Presidential endorsements do nothing to tip the scales of an election." He went on to say, what presidential endorsements actually do is create a perception of bias, a perception of non-independence. Ending them is a principled decision, and it's the right one. The billionaire owner said he wished the decision was made earlier, adding neither campaign nor candidate were consulted or informed at any level. Bezos' response comes after more than 200,000 readers reportedly canceled their subscriptions. You can see our full report on the decision by the Post and Los Angeles Times to stop endorsing presidential candidates on our website, san.com. Turning now to the Middle East, tensions continue to boil over between Israel and Iran as the countries exchange threats during an emergency United Nations Security Council meeting Monday aimed at easing hostilities between the countries. Iran requested the meeting after Israeli airstrikes over the weekend targeted Iranian missile facilities. That strike was Israel's response to an Iranian strike on Tel Aviv earlier this month. While Iran is not expected to take action immediately, the country's president has said it will respond appropriately. During the Security Council meeting, the United States warned Iran of severe consequences if it makes any more aggressive moves toward Israel or U.S. personnel in the Middle East. Apple users are getting their first taste of the company's new artificial intelligence software. iOS 18 launched Monday. The free upgrade comes more than a month after the company unveiled the iPhone 16, equipped with a specialized computer chip needed to power the AI features. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max can also use the AI technology once the software update is installed, as can recent versions of the iPad and Mac computers. However, this is only in the United States. Other countries won't be getting the AI software for their iPhones until sometime next year. Finally this morning, we have not yet handed out our Halloween candy, but it's already time to talk turkey. Target turkey, to be specific. Target is joining the list of big box stores looking to help you save on your Thanksgiving holiday meal this season. The retailer announced Monday that for $20, you get an entire traditional Thanksgiving feast this year. That's $5 less than last year, by the way. The four-person meal includes brand name turkey, potatoes, stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce, green beans, and mushroom soup. Everything you need to gobble up the perfect meal. You will also be able to get side dishes and desserts for under $5 because no Thanksgiving is complete without, mac and cheese and, of course, pumpkin pie. Walmart and Aldi announced similar lower-cost Thanksgiving meals last week. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. I just love it. Those are your unbiased updates for this Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.